Hello everyone, you're watching This Week in 5 Minutes. I'm Wes Royce.
And I'm Amanda Middleton. This week we saw our share of arrests and high-speed chases, controversial local government appointments, and even a state championship in cheerleading by Barron County High School.
But after over 30,000 views on YouTube and a huge influx of viewers on WCLUradio.com, the story that everybody's talking about is the trial of Anthony Barbour, which came to an end Thursday night.
The jury did not have enough evidence to convict Barbour for the murder of Laney Mae Wallace, a conviction that would likely have meant life in prison for the defendant.
The jury did, however, have enough evidence and heard enough testimony to determine a guilty verdict on 3 charges. Reckless homicide with a 5-year sentence, which will run concurrent with a 5-year sentence for the guilty verdict of tampering with physical evidence, and a 12-month sentence for abuse of a corpse. What does this mean? Well, instead of Barbour spending the rest of his life in jail for murder, he'll do 5 years.
That's right, Wes. And you could see it unfolding throughout the 7-day trial. The defense never once denied that Anthony Barbour didn't have some sort of role in the death of Laney Mae Wallace. There was conflicting testimony and even a closing argument that turned into a Christmas parody. All of this made the case for the defense that there was not enough evidence to put Barbour away for life.
Tell the truth, Anthony. What did he say? It ain't going to change a dang thing. The only thing it's going to do is put her, seated in the audience, in jail with him. That's what his words were. Unscripted, but recorded, for you to be able to consider as to whether or not he committed this crime. That phone call was made June 20th, 2015. I think Cindy Leon testified that it was about within 30 days of his arrest. And so you heard his attitude was, it ain't going to change anything. She's going to be in here with me. Now, what we learned from Detective Burton was this. We learned that he was in communication on May 25th with the medical examiner's office. Now, the only people who would have known about the vaginal injuries was the medical examiner. We know that Anthony Barbour was wheeled out of T.J. Sampson Hospital on a gurney under a white sheet because there was death threats. So, if the only people who knew about the vaginal injuries were the medical examiner in Louisville or Franklin, and we know that B.J. Burton had spoken to him, how did the information about the vaginal injury get from there to Glasgow?
And at one point, defense attorney Ken Garrett was held in contempt of court for his choice of words to describe subjects in the case. Garrett took the attention off the defendant and placed it on the mother, Kelsey Wallace, and with his theatrics himself. And that now becomes the big question. Will Kelsey Wallace be charged for any crimes that may have led to the death of her 2-year-old daughter?
Could you tell if she was breathing?
She was not breathing. She didn't have a heartbeat. No pulse.
Can you tell the members of the jury whether or not you were able to physically touch her skin, flesh to flesh?
I did. It was cooler. It wasn't hot, but it wasn't cold.
What then did you next do?
Told Kelsey that Laney, she's dead. I asked her what happened. She said it was an accident. She said that she put Laney upstairs in the attic in this little window type place. Put her there and left her there. She had her blankets up there and stuff. And she had left her up there. And at some point in time, she went back up to check on her and she said that she wasn't moving or breathing.
Whether or not testimony in this case that suggested Kelsey both knew what happened to Laney and or played a role in the matter will be a question many who are interested in this case are still asking. And if you look at social media, there are a lot of people who are looking for answers.
It's been a long week in the courtroom, and much of our efforts have been devoted to bringing you as much footage as possible from the trial via recorded video, since live video was not an option. So we encourage you to click on the links below on this website and in the video description to review this case.
It was an emotional, confusing, and exhausting trial, and in the end, Anthony Barbour and his defense basically got everything they asked for. 5 years concurrent, no murder.
Next week, we look to shift our focus to multiple stories developing in our area. Thanks for watching This Week in 5 Minutes. Be sure to like WCLU Radio on Facebook, stay connected to WCLUradio.com, and subscribe to WatchWCLU.com on YouTube. I'm Wes Royce.
And I'm Amanda Middleton.